In the past month, my name's Joshua. Hi. Past month, I've had two parent-teacher conferences. Our boys are 4 and 6 years old. Did you know 4 and 6 year olds have parent-teacher conferences? It's true. They do. Well, they don't. I do, and my wife does. Well, when I first found this out that they had parent-teacher conferences, my first thought was, that's ridiculous, and they didn't do that when I was a kid. And then I thought, well, I hope they're not doing what they did 30 years ago. Like, I hope there's been some adaptation and growth in education, that they're not just like, we didn't do it 30 years ago, so we're not doing it today. So that I thought, okay, I'm into it. Whatever the teacher, like, let's do it. Because also I want to know what my boys are like. I want to know how they're doing, right? And so is my wife. So our oldest boy is Waits. He's 6, and he's fine. Like, he's always fine. He is a rule follower. He is devout already. He flosses, which is, I think I said that in my last sermon I preached here, and it was annoying then, and it's annoying now that he flosses. We knew with his, like, meeting with his teacher, we're just like, that kid's fine. He's fine. Our 4-year-old's name is Murphy, and he is a total Murph. Like, he is just a tank, stubborn, refuses to clean at home, refuses to eat. Just if I want him to do anything, you can guarantee he's not going to do that thing. And so I really genuinely was like, okay, let's talk to Miss Susan. Let's see how he's doing at school, because we show up to school and like put him in there and then leave, and we don't really know what happens to him for the rest of the day, which is partially true. Of course we know a little bit more than that, but it was good to talk to her. And so she said, how is he? How is he doing at school? And she said, he's great. I said, what do you mean? And she said, he's the first to clean up. He helps other kids clean up. And I said, shut up. Like, he eats his food. And I was so mad. I was like, why do I have to suffer and you get to have that version of Murphy? It's infuriating. But I get it. Like, kids are different at home than they are with other people or at school. I understand that's not all that baffling, but still kind of maddening. But the task for me as his dad is to see myself in his story, both his story at home of who he is at home and at school, because he's not split. He's 4. But it's easy for me to get mad at him. And what's difficult is to slow down and be curious and say, okay, why? Let's explore this. Or it's for me to explore, for me to ask questions of him and him to answer as much as he can, but to just slow down and go, okay, you're this way at school, you're this way at home. I don't know, I wonder why, as opposed to just being, comically mad about it. Every story, like the ones I've just kind of been narrating, have multiple participants. The writer of the story creates protagonists and antagonists and chorus members, ensemble, and they create a well-rounded story with plot. The reader, or the listener, we bring our own selves to the story. So attentive reading and attentive listening involves seeing ourselves in the characters and in the scenes. So in the case of the gospel text, we have a story within a story, right? We have a story of Jesus telling a story to other people. Jesus is hanging out with a bunch of dirtbags, and the religious folks are getting all huffy about it. I can see myself in the grumpy Pharisees, like the self-righteousness, bound in judgment and fear. And I can see myself in the dirtbags, the swindlers, who caught a glimpse of something beautiful in Jesus and wanted to just hang on to his ankles. And within the story itself, you've got the father, the oldest son, youngest son. We've got pigs. We've got slaves. We've got landowners. I've been all of them. I've been every single one. I am every one of them. I am the father running to my son, welcoming him home, both my sons, welcoming them home no matter what they've done. In my better parenting moments. In my worst parenting moments, let's not talk about that. But in my better ones, it is all invitation. I've been the youngest son who in the story is bold and adventurous, asking before he wants, before it's due to him, wasting everything. I like the line in this translation, devouring the land with prostitutes. No idea what that means. He's feeding pigs. He wants to eat what the pigs have, and then he faces the music and he goes home. Like I know all those things. I know all those things. I know the oldest son, just bitter and like, I did the good thing. Why aren't I getting rewarded? I know that character very, very well. I'm everyone, or I'm a part of everyone. So this is what we do in Lent, is that we take time to examine who we are and our connections to ourselves and to God. I don't think I've ever done the traditional, I don't even know if people do this anymore, in Lent where you stop eating chocolate or stop something, like you deprive yourself. I remember I tried that a few times and just like got 2 days in and said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And then I tried the thing where you like, oh, okay, I'm going to do something positive for Lent, like, add something in. Got 2 days into that. I didn't do that either. This year I just said, okay, Lent's coming, fine. Like Lent is going to be Lent. I'm going to be me. I'm still going to exist through Lent. Lent's going to exist. And that's as much as, that's what it is. I'm tired of disappointing myself. But maybe that's part of what, I don't know, maybe like now I'm thinking like, okay, I'm just taking it a day at a time. Like I'm just here. I'm here right now with you and Anne's iPhone. I'm not in the past. I'm not in the future. I need to be in Lent and examine myself in Lent, see my connection to myself, to God, to my community. And I need to see my connection to my boys and my spouse and be paying attention to their stories. Because I only get to be a part of these stories. Like their story is, Murph's only 4 once and Waits is only 6 once. This is what we got just today. And that's Lent for me right now. And then I think of God as I've been working through some of this and thinking about this story, and then the idea of like God is in this like parent-teacher conference with me. And the funny thing is that God can see God's self in me, which is bananas. That the God of the universe would see herself in us, would see himself in us, in me. And that this God is always welcoming this dirtbag home, saying, come home, you are always, always welcome.